A lot of the time when people talk about habits that are going to change your life, they're all a little the same. Journaling, meditation, reading, breath work. And all of these things are life-changing, or can be. But I found that some of the most helpful habits for me to implement in my life have been a little more specific. In this video, I want to share with you 4 offbeat practices or habits that you can implement into your life that will change your brain, change your life, change your vibes. Number 1, watching compassion and kindness-based movies to rewire your brain. It wasn't really that long ago that they discovered that you, as a grown adult, can change your brain, can rewire the patterns in your brain. And a helpful way to think about rewiring your brain is to compare it to exercise. Consider the different parts of your brain as muscles that you can either work out and get really strong, or you can stop using and let wither. For example, the more that you use your anger muscle to dwell on how annoying it is when your coworker speaks over you in meetings, the stronger your anger muscle is gonna get. The more you use your curiosity muscle whenever you're faced with a problem, the stronger your curiosity brain muscle gets. And as it turns out, when you listen to stories of kindness, compassion, humans helping other humans, you are giving the gratitude muscle in your brain a workout. So you're sitting there, you're deeply engaged in a movie like Wonder, A Man Called Otto, Paddington, any movie that heavily features kindness and compassion where you can sit there and really empathize with the characters. As you are doing that, your brain is working out the motivation muscle, which it turns out is linked to your gratitude brain muscle. It's building up your feel-good, happy muscles, all linked to your gratitude brain muscle. And it's also weakening your fear circuits, your anxiety circuits, your defensiveness circuits, which are pretty much like the opposite brain muscles to gratitude. When most people think of gratitude, they think of writing a gratitude list, so writing down 3 things that you are grateful for, which is still a really good practice. But when it comes down to it, studies have shown that if you want to strengthen the gratitude muscle in your brain, reflecting on stories of kindness is the way to do it. This is such an easy, passive habit to include in your life. If you already watch TV a few times a week, just choose on one day to chuck on a kindness movie. I'll have a list on the screen of some movie recommendations. I haven't vetted all of these. And you can take this a step further. You can make sure to reflect on the movie throughout the week, because it's been shown that just even thinking back on these stories, reflecting on them in your mind, re-experiencing the emotions that the characters in the stories might have felt, that is like a little mini workout for your gratitude muscle. It's like a little rep. I've never been a movie watcher, if I'm being totally honest, so finding these kindness and compassion type movies has been kind of a journey. If you have any recommendations, leave them in the comment section down below, and it'll be helpful for anyone else that's watching this. It's like, oh, that's like an easy habit to implement. I want to do that too. You're adding to their list as well. And if you want to learn more about the in-depth sciencey side of this, Andrew Huberman podcast, I'll have it linked down below. The second offbeat, more specific habit that I've implemented in my life that has had such an impact on me is using the HEAL method. You've probably heard the quote, resentment is like taking poison, expecting the other person to die. HEAL is the offbeat habit that I've implemented in my life to avoid taking any even little sips of resentment. Something that you may or may not have heard is that resentments often start as shoulds, musts, commands, demands. And the place that I see this most is in the bridal Facebook groups that I am joined to. Brides are always going through it and sometimes putting other people through it. But the most distressed posts that you see on these Facebook groups are from people that are clinging really strongly to their shoulds and their shouldn't haves. So people should be super excited for my wedding. My bridesmaids should be able to fork out as much for my wedding as I did for theirs. And sometimes there's harder ones, like my best friend should have chosen me as a maid of honor because I did her. Or my friend shouldn't have announced their pregnancy at my wedding. And sadly, when you hold on to these shoulds, they really mostly mess with you. They're not messing with the other people involved. Those people are usually fine and dandy. While you sit there revisiting these shoulds, shouldn't haves over and over again, just sipping on that resentment tea, which by the way has been shown to be so bad for you, like physically, mentally, not good. So HEAL is a process that's actually recommended by the Stanford University Forgiveness Project director, Fred Luskin. And it's all about letting these hurts go. This isn't excusing bad behavior, this isn't giving up, it's just letting go of the resentment that's quite literally hurting you. So whenever you find yourself with a should in your life, whether it's about how someone else should behave, how life should be, how you should be, you can use this process. The H in HEAL is for hope. The way Fred Luskin puts it is that it's good and healthy to have hopes and to have wants in your life. Of course it is. But hopes and wants leave space for disappointment, whereas shoulds and musts don't. So this step is about turning your demand back into a hope. For example, I hoped that my friend would let me know before they announced their pregnancy at my wedding. E is for educate. Do you know that song that has that lyric? You can't always get what you want. That is what educate is about. It's reminding yourself of that little lyric. Acknowledging that you can hope and you can wish, but you cannot control. So you might say to yourself, even though I hoped that my friend would let me know before announcing their pregnancy at my wedding, I understand and accept that other people don't know the same social rules that I do. It's gonna happen for from time to time. Or sometimes people get excited and they forget to think about how other people might feel. This is just acknowledging the reality of what is. A in HEAL is for affirm. This is about connecting to a positive future intention. For example, your positive future intention in this situation could be, my positive intention is when I look back on my wedding to reflect on and really burn into my brain all of the beautiful, loving parts and not to hyper focus on this one little thing. And L is for long term. This is about making the long-term commitment that you're not going to be someone that even tries to sit at the resentment tea. The third offbeat habit that has made a big impact on my life is non-religious prayer. Stay with me. Here are a few practices that you might have heard of. Number one, loving kindness meditation. This is where you visualize all the people that you love, you send them love. You visualize people that are difficult, you send them love. This is proven to have really big benefits for your brain. Gratitude practices, so thinking about all of the good things that happen to you in your day. And non-attachment. So kind of what I was just talking about, hoping for things, but not getting deeply attached to the end outcome. Non-religious prayer is kind of all of those things. You don't have to journal, you don't have to do anything difficult. You can do this just when you wake up in the morning. You can do this when you're just sitting on your commute. All you need is your mind. All this asks is that you're agnostic or you are spiritual. You think that there's some higher power out there. There just has to be a little grain of belief. Whether you believe in the universe, God, something bigger. So here's what I usually do when I'm praying. Not something I ever thought I would ever say on my channel. I love that. Number one, I pray for the people that I love. I wish good things upon them. I usually don't try to wish for anything specific because all I want is their happiness, and that may not look like what I want for them. I sometimes pray for the people that I struggle with because that feels like a good thing to do. I give thanks for whatever nice things have happened during the day and I reflect back on those. I put my struggles out there and I ask for help. I ask for specific things and I ask for generic things, but it is almost like a feeling of surrender, which feels like non-attachment. This has just been such a feel-good, lovely practice to go back to, even if you're not like me. If you've watched my channel for a while, you know, like, I'm a practical gal. I don't usually really talk about spiritual stuff. Even I try to avoid the word manifestation because there's so much associated with that. But I still do have belief in some kind of higher power. I don't really know what that looks like, and this practice has just been nice. It gives me all the good feelings. The fourth offbeat practice is leaning into the advantages of my limiting beliefs. There really is nothing that keeps you quite as stuck as your limiting beliefs about yourself, about other people, and about the way things work. And your brain, low-key, adores this stuckness. It loves keeping you safe, keeping you cozy, keeping you comfortable. That's quite literally its job. So for example, here's Sarah. She holds the limiting belief of, I'll never be successful because I can't be consistent. Her brain gets a bunch from that one limiting belief. It's like, okay, perfect. Since we're never gonna be successful, let's never give anything new a go, ever. Much too scary. I love this game. Here's Joe. Joe holds a belief of, I will never be accepted because people are judgmental. Joe's brain is like, yes, you're so right. Let's never put ourselves out there. Let's stay away from new people. That is deeply comfortable for me. Nearly every limiting belief, every little assumption that you have that's holding you back is actually serving you and keeping you safe and cozy in some way, shape, or form. Instead of treating your negative beliefs like they're these enemies that are holding you back, try to think of them more like helicopter parents that are just trying to keep you safe. When they come up, just notice how they're trying to keep you safe. Acknowledge that they're coming from a good place. You can have a giggle at them, have a bit of a laugh at them while you continue to do your thing. And don't judge them for their misguided attempt at keeping you cozy. This is less a habit and more of a practice, but you'll find that it's just much more fun than getting judgmental at yourself about these limiting beliefs. I do have a 7-day limiting belief course that's coming out on Intention really soon, so if you're not signed up to the app, make sure to. It includes a lot of practices like the one that I've just mentioned, plus I think like a 17-page workbook. It's a whole thing. If you like this video, you'll probably like my video on You're Not Stuck, You Just Care Too Much, I think is the title. It's a really good video. I've had so many great comments on that video from people who said that it really resonated with them, so that'll be linked on the screen as well as down below. I appreciate you so much and I'll see you soon.